Hello all and welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks. I just don't know what's happened, but I haven't had the time to sort of get on. It's crazy weather up here at the moment, and I've been back home, my other home, to see my family, and just life is busy, great busy. When I say busy, it's not a 9 to 5 program that I live by. It's a really amazing life. I'm keeping fit and healthy by working a lot outdoors, moving the garden. If you've watched my other videos, you would have seen that I've got quite a large garden area that is being moved. So I'm emptying soil and shifting it around and filling up divots and all sorts of things. So I'm seem to be exhausted most afternoon, so that's probably why I haven't been on. But anyway, it is nice to be chatting again because it's been on my mind to talk about intuition. And intuition, I wanted to share with you, is one of the things that comes to me quite easily, and especially my work as a kinesiologist. I should call it intuitive work because I use kinesiology very basically these days, some muscle testing, but it opened me up to using my intuition. So when I started to work as a kinesiologist, and I found that when I was in a close proximity to somebody and they're giving permission for you to work with them, I would find that I could quite easily connect to that person. And actually the first time I realised that I was able to do that was my eldest son was playing soccer, and I would, give him calf massages and that after a game if he was tense and sore, and I would be able to pick up on things that were going on for him. And I said to him, "Is it all right if I share what I'm getting?" Yeah, and it is what I'm getting. So what I intuitively get from his energy, and it's nothing woo-woo. And it's interesting, what I wanted to share was, it is nothing woo-woo, but when I started reading the Bible, which was back in, I think it was 22 or 23, I can't remember, I'm not so good at years these days, I found that Deuteronomy 18 basically says to put all those things aside. Any tarot, any witchcraft, inverted commas, which is very broad, isn't it? It's very broad. And it goes through a whole list of things you shouldn't be doing. And I really stopped my intuition. I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I gave everything away. I couldn't find the balance in my life at that time, and I was going through other stresses and things were going on emotionally with me. So it was a good opportunity to step away from my work and work on myself once again to really clear the trauma of the relationship I'd been in for many years that messed with my mind, right? And so I couldn't deny it though. Yeah, I'm stumbling where I'm going with this, but not because I'm stumbling. I know exactly where I'm going. It's a story I want to give you that makes sense. Because as I kept reading the Bible and as I was healing myself, I kept remembering all those amazing times in my life I couldn't deny. There was nothing evil, there was absolutely nothing bad, and no ill intention when I would have my intuition working so full on like that. It was always with love. It was always with wanting to assist people, guide them through whatever they were going through and where they needed some help. So I would question that with God and say, I did nothing wrong. I gave something away that I loved and I missed it. I missed it so much. It's like an extension of myself. And we've all got it. But it was just something I loved using all the time. It was picking up on to ring someone, or my kids needing things, or whatever it was, it just came to me. And I wanted to share this one story that stood out for me. I have 3 sisters, but 2 sisters and myself share the same mum and dad. And then the 3rd sister, we share the same dad, but not the same mum. So I was with my 2 sisters who were around about my age, and our mother had had a heart operation that went really wrong, and she was in intensive care, and she had a massive heart attack, and she wasn't going to make it. Well, she didn't make it, but what happened in intensive care, when we were in there, the bed next to my mum, there was also another woman who was in a coma. And that woman was younger than my mother. And mind you, our mum was 68 when she died. She was young. But this woman was in the bed next to her, and she also had family around her. And you don't speak to many people besides the nurses and the doctors when you're going through that stuff, and the people that are closest to you, because it's just too heart-wrenching. And my sisters said, do your thing, Barb. Do your thing and see if you can help Mum. And I went, do my thing. What does that mean? Okay. So literally we were standing by her bed. I closed my eyes and I saw my mother and this woman, who I couldn't see her face because it was covered in tubes and breathing apparatuses and all sorts of things. And they were standing together. And my mum said to this woman, don't go. It's the best time of your life. You need to stay. Fight and stay. And I didn't know what that meant, or whether I thought my mum would stay or go. I don't quite recall, but that is so vivid to me. And it was so much that I was standing with them that I felt like when I came back into my body, it threw me and my sister grabbed me. It was so intense and so forceful, and not in a bad way, because this again was all done with love. I just was asked to see what it was, if there was anything I could do. But that's all that happened. And I went, okay, so the rest isn't my business. But I knew this woman would be all right, this other woman that was in the bed next to my mum. And we walked out where the waiting room was, and that's where this woman's family was. And they were crying. And they were, worried, of course, full of concern for their mother. And I just said to them, and I was crying, I was deeply emotional. I said, I just want to let you know that your mum's going to be all right. And my mother, and I told them exactly what I'd done and where I'd been, because I thought, I wasn't worried, I wasn't thinking about being judged or anything like that. It was so real. And they said, one of the women said, that was in the waiting room, which happened to be the daughter of this lady, said, yes, I'm pregnant. And that made so much sense of why my mum said to her, this is the best time of your life, don't go. Because she loved having grandchildren so much. And you can't make this stuff up. It was very emotional, still is. It was so real. I feel so, lucky's not the word, blessed is not the word, because it says that others aren't. I am so appreciative and so happy that I have that ability. And I knew when I started to recall these stories and these memories, they're not stories, they're not fairy tales, these memories that are so close. I have so many of them, and I want to start sharing them, because it's a recording of them for me too. It's a recording of the intensity, of the amazing things that have occurred in my life that show that we are more than this physical being. This is our shell. We are spiritual, soul people having this experience in the physical. And how we spend our time doing that is so important. And at 66, the waste of time doesn't occur to me anymore. I'm living my life, my true value. There's nothing woo-woo or spooky about having intuition and being able to guide people to health and well-being. And I feel totally appreciative and mindful of how I use this time in my life. I can hear somebody rattling up the road behind me. This is an awesome life. Live it consciously with awareness and be true to who you are. How amazing. What a gift to be here. And yeah, there's shit going on, but it's not yours. Stay with the love. Be aware of what's going on. Don't be a dumbass and pretend nothing's going on in the world and that, children are safe and not being taken by things. I won't call them people because they're definitely not. And there's some stuff out there that shouldn't be happening. I don't know how we stop that other than to really live true to the value of who we are, to really love with all our hearts, and to really be thankful and grateful. Now, I get caught up in stories a lot about what's going on in the world, but when you do that, when we get caught up in the stories about what's going on and all these cases that you read about, well, then we're off path. And we're giving our energy elsewhere and it feeds off that energy. We've got to stay true to ourselves. We've got to stay internally strong, connect to the higher source of all that is, because that to me is our definite energy. It's who we are. And we're all particles of that in this physical realm. And I do believe that we chose to come here. I do believe it with all my heart. And some of you won't like that, some of you will poo-poo it, but we're all entitled to our thoughts and feelings on those things. And that is mine. I definitely feel like I chose this path. I definitely feel like I'm here for a purpose, and in being true to myself, following my purpose and not those of others, I will discover what that is, and every day I live it with full intention. Every day I live it with full appreciation, and I trust that you do the same. Get off the media. Get off social media. It's just as bad as TV these days. I mean, I use it for my own platform, but I don't want to do scrolling. It's not healthy. We can get lost in it. Listen to your own opinion, go within, pray, meditate, and stay on your path and don't get sidetracked. It's so easy to be deceived. Take care. I hope this makes sense. If anybody wants to ever ask me a question or get involved in a chitty chat, I would love it. Or express who you are. Also, what can you share? You must have something you want to share that you're keeping to yourself that might feel too weird and wacky. Weird and wacky's good. So take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.